the complete workflow of the demonstration of using Python scripts to control Redis, which will then send commands out to Dukascopy JForex to submit orders. Now, before we get started, I just always want to make sure people understand what they should know before we continue. If you go to my Quant Labs channel, go under
Hey there, how's your trading
playlists.
going?
I've
Let me show you
I've
some
posted
algo
2
financial
videos.
market analysis that will give you edge, and this really kind of matters.
Okay, so if you go into playlists, go under, let's say, Dukascopy, just scroll down.
You want to create a stunning website.
If you want to come to these 2 videos, I guess it's at 41, 42, Redis NOSQL command driven to submit order and close. And then this one does the same thing, but it identifies each order through the order label that's provided through the Dukascopy API. So that completes the entire process where I show within the Redis client on how you can submit orders and close orders from Redis, which will be interfaced through a Java program, which will then connect into the JForex platform. So in this last video here, I wanted to show you the same concept, but able to do it through Python. So these are the commands I'm speaking of. So in the previous video, you would see push order, which is a key, and then the string of the data for the actual order itself on the open, and then we submit a close on the push order, and then the values would have the close, and then the unique order label provided again by the Dukascopy API when you send these commands in Java, that you have to identify your order with the order ID. Now, the other thing I mentioned is that even though I am able to track both the stop loss and the take profit, I did find I was prematurely closing orders as part of the debugging process. So I have the ability to debug these, track them, but I don't actually submit either the take profit or stop loss. But it does send out the order. So this, as I said, is in Redis client, as well as you obviously have to have your Redis server running in the background to enable this. So essentially we have a message queuing now between Redis and my Java program, which is right here in my IDE, NetBeans. So I'm going to take down this JVM, this Java virtual machine, while it's running. So you can see here the program has exited, and we're going to relaunch it to get it fired up. And I go through the entire source code on how this works in the previous YouTube videos that I've highlighted. So when you run this program, you need to have this running to accept the Java that will then turn around and send out the orders, the physical orders, out to Dukascopy the JForex. As you can see here, I have the JForex running in the background. I'm going to clear out the messages. No orders, no positions, no strategies are running. So it's just a basic standard JForex ready to go to accept orders. So having this running, also having this Java program running, we're now able to push orders into Redis and then process those orders. So as it's shown you here, something happened there. Let me just kill those for whatever reason. I'm going to close these. Something tells me that if I do an L range, I show this as well. What's residing in the database? I think nothing got flushed out. So there you go. These orders were still in there. So if I do a flush all, that will empty out the database. So I should have done that before I restart recording. Anyway, so we should have a clean slate now outside of clearing the message. So we have now an empty database. As you can see here, no messages, no strategies running, no orders, no positions set up right now within JForex. So with an empty database, the program is now running and accepting positions. Actually, if I just stop this just in case, this may take a little bit of time to start up, this Java program. Again, this is all demonstrated in the 2 previous videos. So what we're going to do essentially is I've got a Java program here, and I'll walk you through the code. It's very simple. That's why I like Java. So we need the import package for Redis time. We do a standard connection into Redis. We'll make sure we flush the database to clear out any crap that may be still there. We'll do an L push of the order, which is the key, and then the value of this, as I demonstrated in the previous set of videos, the open, plus the unique order ID, and then all the other data, instrument, buy, quantity, and so forth. And then we should sleep a little bit or delay it a couple seconds, and then push the close on the order. Again, this is the key values to close the order and close the order of whatever. In this case, this should be 400. So 400. Okay, so let me just see where we're at in our program. Okay, so our strategy started. So we've got our little, let me minimize that. So I've got, I'll load up the Python 3 interpreter. Doesn't matter if it's Python 3 or 2. It's fairly simple code. So as I said, we're going to now import all our packages that we need in Python. Nope, not that one. This one. Okay, so we'll load up our Python interpreter, which is Python 3, and now I'll do the standard connection into Redis. Oh, this one. Yeah, here. There we go. So we'll do an R flush all, empty the database, true. So now what we're going to do is we're going to copy the first order to push order and open using the unique order label called SEP 400. So what you'll see here in the Java, the order has been sent out. JForex has processed that order, and we have 2 positions, which should be really 1, but either way, it's only, it is communicating from the Python, which is what we want. So now we're running our 2 strategies, and I'm sure there's a pretty simple explanation there, but regardless, I'm not too worried about it. So a couple of seconds have passed, so we are now going to close that order of SEP 400. Let's hope that this works. So then again, we know that the sell has happened, and one of these positions does get closed. Quite interesting. If I do this again, let's see if I'm sure I'll throw an exception. Yeah, threw an exception. So let me just start everything over again from the Python side. So what we're going to do is we're going to flush the database once again. I know that's the case, because if I go to my Redis client, do an L range, it's blank. So we'll do the first command, this one, for the push order of the open. Let's hope that this works. For some reason, it's sending out 2 command or 2 positions. I'll have to look into that, see what's going on. And then just do one last close here. And hopefully, so somehow, if I look in the log, see what's happening here. So we've something very, so we got an open 400, sep 400, sep 42, something going on in the database. It's bizarre. So somehow we've only had one command, the sep 400, but yet it sent over 3 orders. I am very curious to see what's going on here. If I quit this, I empty the database, flush all, do an L range on everything. It's empty, which is what we want. I will close this position, close that position. So we have all orders, clear that. Okay, so that Java is still running. And we have nothing in the database. This is bizarre. Okay, let's try this again. So we're starting again on the Python. We need to import, actually we'll import all of this stuff. Okay, so that should work. Get this running. Now, as I said, there should be only one position, but it's got 2. Bizarre. I'm not sure what's going on with that. I'll have to dig into it. But the key is that it is communicating from the Python side. But so we have this. And somehow, oh, you know what it is? It's it's quite possible that there's a bug in this Java. I think that's where the problem resides. Okay, I think that's what the problem is. There's something going on in the Java. Okay, so I'll quit this. I will terminate this guy. Okay. So I think it's terminated. Yeah, it's not running. Yep. Let me see here. Yeah, I think it's not running. Let me just get the Redis client running again. Okay. Quit. There we go. Redis CLI. L range. Order 0, -1. So there's still data in there. Okay, so if I go flush all, okay, nothing. Nothing in the database. These positions, close, close. I'm going to relaunch this JForex just to, okay. So we've emptied the database. We're going to start a new Python 3 session. Okay, we're relaunching our JForex. Maybe, just to be safe, I'll terminate the Redis server. So I've reset that as well. Don't know what more I can do. Interesting what has been going on here. Okay, so everything's being reset. Let me just make sure. Yeah, everything's empty in the database. Okay. So we're going to relaunch our Java program. Now I'm hoping it's just one version, one position. Because here in the code, it's just one order. You know what? I'm going to give it a unique name as well. But I expect bugs like this. We'll never get anything perfect on the first go around. Okay, so our strategy is ready to be started. Okay. So let's load up some data. Now, one of the key items here is to use a order ID I've not used before. So I'll do 401, let's say. Push. Strategy's still waiting for the tick. Oh, hold on. L push traceback. R is not defined. Okay, not a problem. Forgot probably a line, no problem. Actually, I'll include the flush as well. R is not defined. Ha ha ha. Did I not include? Oh, I did not include it. So I'll just do all 4 of these. Okay, there we go. Okay, so the flush has happened. I can verify that here. All right, so let's do the open on the order. So there is no strategy or orders currently running. Okay, here we go. So that's our first order. One position has been opened. Let's verify that in the Java by blah, 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 blah. Looks okay. So we'll wait a sec. We'll put that close in. And then we'll redo it. Okay. So the close should happen anytime in a minute. Okay. The sell happened. Again, that's exactly what I want. So that's good. So now let's go back. Now, here's the confusing part. If I go into the Redis client, you'll see here's what's in the database so far. That order of 400, SEP 400, close of SEP 400. So what we need to do is just to make sure everything's tickety-boo. Let's do another flush on the database. Cool. Now, before I do the next submit, I'm going to again put in order I've never used, SEP 420, order label 420. That's unique, never used before. Let's see what happens here. Now, let me just verify there's no positions, no orders, no strategies, and a message of simple order accepted, a buy, and then the same position of a sell. So we bought and then sold it off. And here we know it's the same position, I believe. Oh, there might be a problem here. Or is there? No, I'm sorry. Yeah, so here's the position 59, the buy, and then position 59 on the sell. Okay, cool. So there's no order, there's no strategy. Good. Java's still running. Okay. So we're going to put a new order in with a unique ID order label of SEP 420. Let's see what happens here. Okay, so one position again. Good. That's exactly what we want. That's our sell, or sorry, buy position with its ending 70. Cool. All right, so last time this should work. Let's put that order in for the close. Let's check the everything looks okay in the Java. Just looking JForex position. There's that position that we want that's still open. Okay, so let's go back into Python and do a close. What was it? 420. So we'll just do this. Oops, 420. Okay, that should close it off. Position's been closed off. There's no positions listed there. And here we go again. Position 70, buy, we sold it, position ending in 70, done. So it's worked. So we must have screwed up on the Python, what we're sending through the Python where those bugs were happening. They're not really bugs. So it seems to be working okay now. So it must have been something like that. Okay, so there's lots of moving parts here, but I gotta make sure everything's working good. But you can see you can drive these orders from Python now. And virtually it can be any language that you want that communicates with Redis. And as long as your language has the ability, has a Redis driver and the Redis client for that language, you should be able to do the same thing for any language now using JForex. Okay, hopefully this will help you out. Let me know. Talk to you later.